Apparently, we have started the live stream. So today, guys, I'm pretty excited because I am going to be unveiling for the first time my very first cinema glass that I just purchased. And this one has been a long journey. So what we're going to be doing right now, as you can see those boxes right there, they're like from the floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes of Canon cinema glass. I haven't even opened this myself. So we're going to be unboxing them together, talk a little bit about my decision. And the fun part is that I'm going to be using Canon glass on my Sony FX6. So this is going to be actually awesome because I'm planning to use the glass also, on my Canon C7E. And I have right here the FX6. So I'll tell you why I decided to go with this. This collection of glass, and I've been doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of my friends that shoot cinema. James Jackson, friend of mine as well, another YouTuber, actually walked me through this choice, and I trust his judgment, and it made a lot of sense. So actually, let me actually text him right now because maybe he can actually help us out a little bit here in this live. And I have a bonus. We are going to be installing in this camera right now that I have this new ND with the mist effect, the mist diffusion. So we're gonna see how it works. Hopefully it's gonna be good. But let me actually text James Jackson. Hey man, I'm online live talking about you and about to unveil my unboxing for the Canon CN E kit. Come online if you can. How's everyone doing, guys? Again, as always, let's start with a good hello. How is everyone doing tonight? Where are you watching the show from? And if you see something different, it's because I changed camera. The one that I used to have here was the Sony A7C, but now that's going to be my main camera for my YouTube videos. I can show you right now if you want to see. It's actually right over there in that rig that I made. And now I have the camera mounted in one of those, those boom arms that are flexible, so I can actually move the camera around. I have a ball head installed there, and kind of like, let's see, what's the framing? I like the lines to be parallel to the screen. Let's leave it there. Ooh. It's pretty good, right? Maybe a little bit lower so I don't look like a midget. Yeah, I like this view. See, I like that line right there. I would love for it to be parallel, but because this one is the 60 millimeters, we get quite a wide angle. So guys, we're gonna be talking about the glass that you see right next to me right now. See that tower? Let me actually show you the tower. Hold on one second. This is gonna be shaky. But let me show you the tower. It goes all the way from the floor. All the way from the floor up there. And I haven't unboxed anything. I'm gonna lie. I just peeked one box only, but I don't know how this guy is compact or anything like that. We're gonna go together, and like I mentioned before, I'll tell you why I decided to go with Canon, especially when I'm gonna be using that glass specifically in the Sony FX6, probably the Sony A7S III as well. And of course, cross compatibility, right? Because Canon and Canon, they just get along. So also gonna talk to you guys about the Canon C7E, how I've been using both cameras. As you guys know, I'm not a fanboy. Some people say you're a Sony fanboy. I shoot with both camera, guys. And most of my photography right now has been done with Canon cameras, although I've been shooting with Sony for the longest. Now, I promised that before we start, we're gonna be testing this ND filter that I bought. And they were like fairly priced, so I'm like, let me just give it a try. I usually go with a Peter McKinnon Polar Pro ND filters. They're really, really nice, but I've heard good things about this one, and I don't mind saving some money. So this is the way it comes in this nice box, and also has this metallic cap that I think that you use to cap the lens once you open it from the filter thread. That's what I think. So we're gonna open it right now. Let's put it right there in this camera. So right now I'm at, my shutter speed is all over the place. We are gonna go 1/50. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty bright. I was 1/100. So we're gonna put this, see how well it works, if it works. So let me actually screw it in here. This is the Sigma 16 f1.4, and let's try to bring the exposure to something. What the hell? Uh-oh. And also the depth of field. Let's go 1.4. It was at 2.2. There you go. It has a little bit of a click. I think it does every one stop. You can see right there. It's actually not too bad. Can you guys tell cross polarization here? Let's see when we spin it if we see the cross polarization. Actually, not too bad. Let me know what you guys think. Boom. There. Actually, the camera is telling me that this is perfect exposure, although I think it's too hot. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there. So the brand is Freewell. Okay, Freewell, and it comes with this cap. It's a metallic cap that, you know, then you can use it to cap the lens. And I believe I pay $100 or something like that on Amazon. So far, so good, guys. This one, it doesn't say the graduation of the mist, but it seems like 1/4 compared to the Polar Pro one, because I'm being able to see from that light. Look at the bloom around my face. I kind of like it. Yep, I'm gonna use it for video work as well. We'll check it out and give you guys another feedback later on. So I never like to keep these boxes, so I throw them away. I also got a 77, and I have the 82 on hold that is coming up probably tomorrow. So Freewell, they're not sponsoring this video, but you know, decided to just give it a try. All right, so you're here probably because you want to see the glass that we're going to be unboxing today. And first of all, De La Hoying says, yo, Mr. Gaston Roman says hi. Eugenio says, what is good to be you? Is Ricky's something like that says hi. Chris Jericho, how much those cost? I'll tell you right now. What is the best amount of mist per filter? I think the best amount, in my opinion, is around 1/4. Now you can go 1/8 or you can go half. For some of the videos that I shoot here, I usually use half. But if you really want to capture sharp videos, I feel that sometimes going with half, while it gives you a nice effect on lights, you know, the blooming of the mist, a lot of the times if you're shooting something up close, it's going to soften the image too much, kind of like losing a lot of the sharpness. So I think that 1/4, you know, is actually the right amount for most situations. Obviously, if you want to shoot, I don't know, with more, you know, with more atmosphere and you know, the intention is to actually be not so sharp, I guess the half is going to do a good job. But 1/4, if you want to play it safe, you're not going to go wrong with that. You're going to get a little bit in the highlights, you know, a little bit, especially in light sources, you know, you're going to see it more. And I like the way that it softens, you know, the highlight roll off on my face, this Pro Mist, and it seems like it's around 1/4. So we are going to be opening the glass right now. And we have, I believe we have 12, no, I'm sorry, 14, 20, 24, 35, 50, 85, and 135 millimeters. So let's actually start with a wider, if I can find it. So this is the 24. Look at the boxes right here. This is the 135. I'm probably gonna reorganize it as we go. Guys, I haven't even played with it. I just came from work. I had a busy day today, and I'm gonna start organizing them here. And couldn't even peek them. So 135, this one should be the 50 probably. This is the 14. This one is gonna be the first one that we're gonna be checking out. This is the 24, probably second. This one is the 50. This one is the 20 millimeters, which is gonna be one that we're gonna do before the 40. I mean the 24. Last but not least, this one should be the 34. And this one, let's see, 35. So, sorry, this is super random. I just decided to unbox it in front of you guys. let's start talking about this glass. Okay, so I hope they don't fall. Now, one of the things that we're gonna see at a glance is that these guys have been made in Japan or Japan. See if you can see it here. It says it's somewhere in there, made in Japan. You know that is going to be cool stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually tilt up the camera so we can see what I do while we kill two birds with one shot. Yeah, let's put it like that. A little bit higher. There you go. So, you can see my mess in the back. We're gonna start unboxing. Let me see how many people. There you go. We're gonna start unboxing the 14 millimeters. Now I gotta tell you, these guys came in so many boxes, like way too many. There were like 4 or 5 gigantic boxes like that, boxes inside boxes inside boxes. And as a matter of fact, believe it or not, there was a box inside this box. Actually, this box was inside a box. So yeah, they really pay attention to this glass. I racked my credit card about $25,000. I'm still surprised that that credit card still going strong because it shouldn't anymore. But I definitely need it, guys. I invested in 2 cinema cameras and I'm shooting with photography lens, and a lot of the times I just feel I'm not getting that cinematic look. And the more I talk to people, the more I get directed to cinema glass. So I heard. So the first one that we're gonna unbox is going to be the 14 millimeters. Okay, and this one is gonna be a T3.1. Now remember, cinema glass usually measured in T-stop, and T-stop stands for transmission of light. That actually hits the sensor. So it is in reality the measure of the actual light that hit the sensor. So a 3.1 probably is gonna be at around like a 2.8, 2.5 f-stop of a photography lens, more or less. I mean, I hope I'm not wrong with the conversion, but it should be something like that. And let me actually show you. It comes, just in this bag with some instruction here. It has some padding here, very well protected. So even if you drop the box, I feel that the glass is going to be, fine. And even at the bottom of the box, they have additional padding, as you can see, like a big, probably inch of very dense foam. So we're gonna put this in here. Just want to show you the glass all around. Let me actually locate this box on the side. There you go. Probably gonna have to come back to that. So now we're gonna go back here. Yeah, I promise the next time I'm gonna have more cameras, so we don't have to do this pretty often. All right. So here we have it. Now, some of the things that happen here in the channel is that usually when I'm reviewing something, I tend to drop. I don't want to drop this, guys. So let's do it. Let's remove this thing right over here. Remove it out of the box. And voila. Wow. First thing that I had to say is that this is pretty chunky. It is actually pretty heavy. And as I expected it, the front element is pretty bulgy. Now, one of the things that I like about this cinema glass is that the diameter for the majority, I haven't opened them all, but they're always the same. So if you want to change your matte box from one lens to the other, you can actually do it. Although I'm probably going to mount my matte box on rails rather than mounting it on the lens. Now, the next thing that is actually really important, one of the reasons why I wanted to go with cinema glass is because when I rig my photography lens, I have to put the pseudo gears, around the lens. And it's just, it's never right, never feels right. And these lenses have the gears built in, but not only that, they also have the gear at the same position. So you have one for the aperture right here and one for the focus. So, this is actually pretty good in my opinion. And I'm actually so stoked. I don't know if you can tell. Look at this. Now, let's actually see how this is going to look, first of all. Well, I don't have the adapter for the C70 because remember, all the Canon CN E glass is actually EF mount. So I ordered the converter from EF to RF. It's not here yet. but I do have the Sigma from EF to E mount. So we're gonna actually check it out right now first, Canon and the Sony FX6. So let's actually do this, guys. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna power up this camera. And as you can see, I removed the top handle in my Sony camera. We're gonna remove this. Let me actually open the screen. There you go. And this is how I rigged it, like super small, you know. And I have the side handle there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop it in here. Let me actually remove that. And the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna mount the converter. Actually, I should have done this first in the camera, but we're gonna do it like that. Let's match the dot. And I can tell you that, woohoo! Wow, this looks so good, but it's really heavy now. This looks really freaking cool, guys. Let me turn on the camera. Alrighty. Okay, please execute AR. That's awesome. Show you the message there. Look how wide it is. I'm actually like right in front of the lens, and you still see a lot of stuff. All right, so we are going to, wow. Let's make sure that we are and cannot execute function because the condition of the lens. Okay, so it's telling me that it cannot. Why is the focus not responding? Okay. Let me see. Okay, the aperture is responding, no problem. For some reason, the focus is not responding. I'm probably missing something like a newbie. Let me see, maybe this? Maybe I need to update something, who knows? But I'm going from T 3.1 and then the focus. I guess there's not enough shallow depth of field. Let's see there. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like, guys. I mean, it's a big monster. The image quality is actually really good here. There is some vignetting in here, I guess, because it's, you know, very, very wide. That's what I can tell. Check this out. I don't know if you can tell the vignetting in here. But again, we're not going to spend so much time in here. I'm just going to show you now another lens. So let's turn off the camera and we're going to unbox the next box because we have 6 more boxes that we need to unbox. You have to be mega careful with this. You know, really easy to drop it. They're pretty hefty. Kind of like, if you're familiar, the 85mm G Master. No, not even. Kind of like the in between the 85 G Master and the 104 Sigma, if you're familiar with those lenses. So that's the weight of this lens. Not too heavy actually for the amount of glass that there is in here. Box first. We're gonna put it back in the box so we don't do an accident. There we go. Close this box. I'm just gonna open the 20mm, and for that, we're gonna do exactly the same thing. A little bit. We're gonna open this one. Okay, like I mentioned before, same side. To your eye, it's going to be almost exactly the same length. So there. I believe the diameter is around 104mm, if I'm not mistaken. I actually measure that for those that want to know or have mount boxes that mount on the frame of the lens. Go and go close on set. Gonna measure the lens. 110 or something like that. Let me see, let me measure it from here. Hold on a second. I gotta measure it like this. 114. That's the outer diameter of the Canon CN E line. So let me show you now this one. This one, obviously, this one is the 20. It doesn't have as much of a protruding element as the 14, obviously. This one feels a little bit lighter, I would say. Check it out. Let you see the walk around. And this one is a T1.5. Wow. It's actually pretty exciting. T1.5, which it'll be kind of like an F1.2 more or less, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. So check that out. All right, so now we're gonna mount it in the Sony FX6 once again. You know what? Let me actually get the handle because I'm afraid to drop it. At least, you know, just to have more leverage. Actually, no, let me actually get. Just gonna put it for safety because I don't feel that comfortable grabbing the body. There we go, and we're gonna put this. Now I feel more secure. All right, so this is here in place. Probably, you know, you want to mount this lenses obviously on rails and have a lens support because, first of all, I have a converter attached to the body. And I did a little bit of research. I mean, I had this converter from before when I used to use my 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 crop Sigma lens on my Sony cameras, and it works just fine in here. And I actually asked around, and they told me that it is one of the best ones to get. Now, you know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing a little bit of paint in my glass. Something weird. I don't know if you can tell. One of the edges, it looks like it has a little bit of touch-up paint or something. And I bought him brand new. By the way, I bought him at B&H Photo. All right. Focus is awesome. Wow. So the focusing, that's pretty awesome. So the focusing throw, it's about, I believe it's 270 degrees. Don't quote me if I'm wrong because I don't remember, but I'm gonna start doing all that stuff and getting more familiar with this and probably do tons of videos. But as you can see, image is actually great. Aperture is actually great. And right now, do I have any ND? Let me see. Nope, I don't have any. Let me actually go. No ND. Yep. It's actually pretty awesome. Check it out. Now, this is my face here. Guys, I wasn't planning to do this video. Obviously, you know that I wouldn't do a video like this. I just wanted to show you because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start unboxing this glass and why not show it to the guys? All right, so it works. Remember, these lenses are mechanical. Even though you have communication here, I think, to transmit all the metadata about the focal length and stuff like that. And I think the converter actually works as well to give you all that information. You see the pins right there. Some of them that are even for out of focus, but obviously all these lenses are manual focus. The aperture is also manual. And I'm actually waiting for the Tilta manual follow focus. That's what I'm planning to use with this lens. I just like to pull focus, you know, by hand. And, you know, I don't see the point in a wireless focus pulling if I'm going to be pulling focus myself, right? Might as well just do a mechanic. I don't have to deal with batteries and any of that stuff. So we're going to put this one to sleep as well. This is the 20. Let's look. Pretty nice, hefty. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So next up on the list is the 24. Let's actually unbox the 24. I'm gonna answer some of your questions, guys, or read some of your messages to say, wow, lots of money, ha ha ha. How much did the kit cost? The kit was like $25,000. American Express paid for it, so thank you, American Express. Hopefully I can shoot a lot of videos so you can get your money back. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do my best for sure. And then what else? Then he say thanks. Hero Shot say love the Sigma 105. It's actually one of my most favorite glass to shoot portrait with, which is, where is it? Somewhere in there. It's big. You know what? Let me actually show you the Sigma versus the CN E line so you get an idea about size. All right, where are you? Here we go. So on that side, I have my Canon, and on that side, it's all the Sony. Gotta find a place to put all my other glass. So this is the Sigma 105, as you can see, pretty hefty. So let me actually show you the 24. We'll compare it side by side and take from there. Once again, same cardboard box. Even though you spend a lot of money on boxes, Canon doesn't feel the need to actually invest in better boxes. No, I need better boxes, but hey, marketing, right? But who doesn't know Canon? Now, there are a lot of brands that were way cheaper when I was doing my research. Rokinon has a CN E line, but I did not hear great feedback about that lens if you want to invest for something serious. Although it's gonna get you there, you know, at a fraction of the cost of this. But I just want to buy something that I don't have to worry about buying again in the future, saying, oh, you know, I want to upgrade quality, or, you know, things like that. Now, the other thing is that I can use Canon on any camera, you know, out there, almost virtually any camera. You know, if I want to get a red, I'll be able to use this. If I want to get the Komodo, I'll be able to use this with the adapter, or any camera that takes EF mounts, such as even Blackmagic Cinema camera that has now the 6K Pro, and the other one also have an EF. So that's actually great. And once again, we have the same size. Let's see the optics of this one. This one's obviously much smaller. As we're getting more into the telephoto realm, you know, we start getting small optics, or that's what it seems like. And remember, I have no clue because I'm just opening this glass for the very, very first time. And you are being a witness with me. Now let me compare it with the Sigma. Boom, boom. Actually, the Sigma is heavier. Wow. Yeah, the Sigma is like way heavy. Yeah, the Sigma is actually way heavier. But when it comes to diameter, they are about the same. Let me see. I think they're about the same. Let me actually measure the diameter of the Sigma from the outside. From the outside, obviously. Yep, 114. Depending where you measure, it's about 114. So, but the Sigma is a lot bigger, as you can see. All right. Now, let's talk about the f-stop of this lens. So this one is the 24, and it is also 1.5 t-stop. All right, so, and it goes up to 22, so pretty good. Let me show you there. The aperture is the back one. Look how fluid. Yeah, the focusing ring and the aperture ring is so fluid. I wish Canon has this type of performance on some of the still lenses that they make, because that would be great. All right, and we're gonna put it in the Sony FX6 right now. Let's do it again. Line up the red with the red. Kind of like holding this like a brand new baby, you know, like being afraid to drop him. And this is it. Let me see the image. The focus throw. The reason why you want to pull focus with some sort of focus pulling rig is because of the the throw of the focusing ring, and you're not going to be able to focus like you do with a manual lens or any of the still lenses that you can do this and acquire focus. This one has a lot of range, so you have to go several times. And if you want to do that manually while hand holding the camera, you're going to enter the shake, and that's the reason why you want to get a focus pulling attachment for the lens. So let's do it again. What a nice way to show you. Let me actually pull focus. Boom, 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 boom. There you go, focus peaking. There you go. What a disaster of a review, guys. It's late. I just wanted to show it to you guys. I'm excited that I finally came in. And, I just can't wait to start shooting with this. Actually, it looks pretty good. Sony and Canon together. So I'm going to start pulling miles in, with this glass and both cameras, the C7E and the FX6, and I'll be reporting to you guys. I would like to report to you guys. All right, we're going to remove it again. Perfect. And put the glass in the box again. I have dropped lenses many times, and all the times that I dropped the lens, it cost me really expensive. That's not a mistake that you want to make. So when handling cinema glass, which is heavier than most conventional still lenses, you want to make sure that you are on a flat surface, maybe have some padding around you, to be honest with you, because dropping this is not going to be fun. And probably I'm going to put insurance in this because I didn't see the option for insurance, but definitely I'm going to get insurance in this glass because I can't spend the money. Yeah. All right, so next up is going to be the 35. Let's actually review the 35. Monica, no American Express. So Rapidola is asking, those lenses are too heavy for a Sony A7 IIs. Yeah, I think they're gonna look a little bit big. I'll show you in the Sony A7S III if you want right now. Let me just drink a sip of water. JP say, that's just beautiful. Yes, with those lenses, you have to increase your videos. I have to increase the quality of my video. Let me actually show you in the Sony A7S III the following lens. This one is the 35mm. So let's open it again, guys. And as you see, all the lenses look exactly the same thing, but let's talk about it as I discover, a couple of things in this first look of this lens. So if you think that this is a review, no. You might as well just go and watch Peppa the Pig or something similar, because I'm just unboxing this, guys, and learning, discovering, chatting with you, telling you what I'm finding now about these lenses. This is what, the 35? Yeah, this one feels even lighter, I think, the 35. Again, it may be because I just picked up, oh, wow. I forgot how heavy the 105 f1.4 Sigma is, but great image quality coming out of here. Yeah, the Sigma is way more heavy. It's heavier than the Canon 35mm. And this one, once again, is T1.5. Very freaking fast. That was another thing, that a lot of the cheaper options weren't fast enough. And to be honest with you, if I'm gonna go cinema, I want to get nice depth of field. I want to get the utmost, light striking that sensor. So I didn't feel that, I would be upgrading that much if I didn't get quality lenses. I have RF for the Canon system, which are incredible. I'm planning to continue to use it, especially for the zoom ones. And for the Sony A7S III, yes, you do have options, or the FX6, whichever Sony cameras. But Sony doesn't make a lot of cinema lens, and a couple of the ones I checked, they are very expensive. Then they have, which I consider, in my opinion, a little bit gimmicky zoom lenses for cinema, like the 16 to 35, I believe it is, or 18 to 35, something like that. The zoom one, I believe it costs $5,000, but it is an aperture of 4.5. At that point, I just use, you know, one of my zoom lenses for photos, and that's it. But I wanted to get primed, so here we go. And like I mentioned before, as we go larger in the focal length, the front element is smaller, hence why the lens feels lighter, lighter, and lighter. 35 millimeter. Now, this one is going to be probably one of the most popular lenses that I'm going to be rocking, because I shoot a lot with it 35 millimeters. And I shoot a lot with the 135. So I have a video that I'm going to be posting pretty soon that I'm working on right now. It was shot almost in the entirety of that video with the 135 Sony lens, the f1.8. So, you know, I'm actually really excited to see the quality coming out of that 135. But this one, again, is a T1.5. So you can see right there, T1.5. Same gear, same everything. Let's put it in the camera. Oh, I promised to who that I was gonna put it to Rapidola. I promised that I was gonna put in the Sony A7S III. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna find the Sony A7S III. Where is it? Where are you? Here we go. So Sony A7S III, and we're gonna put the glass here. So I'm gonna have to remove the mount converter from here. Let's put it in the Sony A7S III. Okay. Now, one thing that I gotta tell you, this is not going to be a great handheld experience, but let's do it for the sake of this video. You definitely want to rig up, you know, your camera if you're going to be handling this big of a glass. Now, the other thing is that you don't want a heavy lens to hang, you know, because you put a lot of constraint in your mount. That is not good, you know. And even if you're going to be holding the lens with your hand, remember, you have gears here. I mean, it's not going to be very comfortable, especially if you're going to be using a foul focus. This is, you know, this is glass that you want to rig it up properly, so you don't damage your camera, more specifically the mount of the camera or even the male mount of the lens. So keep that in mind, especially because I'm using a converter. So is the converter, the mount, the lens, you know, but it looks pretty good. Actually, this one, I don't feel that there is much harm going on here, because this one is light. This one is way lighter than this guy right here. And I have shot with one hand with this lens right here. So let me actually let you enjoy the view right here. Okay, Sony A7S III. This is for Rapidola. And again, guys, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Do it right now, because I'm going to be reviewing every one of these babies, and probably reviewing it with the Sony FX6 and the Sony and the Canon C70, and probably even the Sony A7S III. So check it out. Let's see. Yeah, the feel of the focusing ring is actually smooth throughout, and like I mentioned before, it feels that it spins forever, as you can see. So it has a pretty big, yeah, this should be probably 270 degrees or something like that. And then you have your aperture. Now this one doesn't feel as smooth as the other two that I just had in my hand before, or three. All right, let's see. Let's turn on the camera. Does it have a battery? Yes, it does. Let's see how it looks. Wow. Okay, so one thing that I can tell you right now, when focusing with a manual, or, you know, not a manual, actually, when focusing with any of my Sony lenses in manual mode, you don't have that much of a granular adjustment for manual focus. So right now I have enabled focus peaking, and I'm going, and I can see I have it set up to red, the focus peaking. I can see the focus peaking kind of like starting getting redder and redder and redder, but gradually, Whereas with my photography still lenses, you know, I go like this and maybe I go over really quick. This one you have more range, you know, of micro adjustment. And once again, you know, one of the things that you don't get from still lenses, especially when it comes to video, that, you know, you cannot do much Photoshop and, you know, and things like that in comparison with images. So it's really important to get a shot right, you know, and having that granular adjustment is actually priceless. Now the image quality, you know, people say something about cinematic look, and even though right now I'm pointing at, you know, my camera and some cables that I have right there, I can tell why people vouch about this lens is because it just looks, I don't know, dreamier than other, you know, it's just looks awesome. You're not gonna see much there because I have focus peaking, but 35, pretty close. Yeah, this is completely a bad idea what I'm doing, guys, but proper video coming up. Just wanted to share with you. And I said this many times, in case you just joined me. I am planning to do another video properly with this, and I'm actually unboxing them. If you just joined me for the very first time, never had cinema glass in my life, and I can see why people vouch about it, even though I haven't even shot with it. I'm just looking through it. I'm playing with the focus, and looks pretty good. This one was for the Rapidola that wanted me to try in the Sony A7S III. All right, so let's see how it looks now. How it looks now, how it feels, because we already, you know that it's almost the same. We're gonna put it in the Sony FX6, and this one is actually really light. Now I can see that you probably, you know, you'll be safe if you really wanna let the lens hang. I wouldn't do it. You know, I would still mount this lens with rails and have a lens support, you know. But yeah, this does not feel like the 14, which it was really heavy. And again, let's actually see the quality. It should be pretty similar. Now, one thing that you don't have, like the focus ring, you know, the aperture, it advances much faster than. There you go. Yeah, I love the focus peaking, man. You have so much time to really nail it, and boom, done. It looks really, really good. All right. Obviously, that was focused to what I had in front of me, but hopefully, let me come close. Focus peaking. There you go. You can see my hair in focus there. Let's see if you can see my face in focus. There you go. Anyway, terrible example. Terrible way of showing you guys. Can you try the Canon EOS R5? Yes, I would love to try it, but I don't have the adapter. And I was actually planning to try in the C70, but I haven't got the adapter yet. So as soon as I get it, I'm going to be doing that. As a matter of fact, let me see where my order is at of my adapter. Let's see. Amazon. Oh, by the way, Amazon changed the icon. See there? Change the icon. It's kind of like a box, Amazon box. All right, let's go here to my orders. Where is my Canon adapter? Oh, I bought it at Adorama. Oh, no. What? No, that's not it. Let me see. No, I don't see it. No. Since I have this is what I'm waiting for. This is a Tilta follow focus that I bought. $117. It's completely mechanic. It attaches to one of the rails, and that's how I'm planning to pull focus. Let me know if this is a bad idea, if you think that there is something better. But again, I was doing a little bit of research. You know, when I shoot with these cameras, I pull focus manually almost 90% of the time. And I don't want to deal with batteries. So, you know, manual, if I'm going to be doing a manual, unless, you know, one day I go to a project and I have a focus puller, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I like to shoot solo with a crew to help me out and stuff. But I like to, you know, operate the camera. Let me read some of the comments, guys, before we advance, and I'll keep on showing you this. All right, so Rafat Rifayi says, bro, but the way the shelf doesn't have a bump around it, so bro, the way the shelf doesn't have a bump around it, so the equipment doesn't come flying down, gives me the shivers. Yeah. Yeah, right. Now you're making me nervous. Oh no. Now you're making me nervous. You're making me nervous. Anyway, so Green Box is saying, nice. I haven't had one of them in my hands for a while. Alrighty. JP, I just had a camera orgasm. What camera is it? Yeah, this is the Sony A7S III, the small one that I was showing before. Rapidola said, thank you. Roman Pismenov said, can you try in the R5? I already mentioned that I will do it once I get the adapter. You have to do a Canon C7 plus Canon prime lenses versus Canon prime lenses plus Sony camera. I will be doing that for sure. Rest assured that I'll be doing that one. I have the Tilta with my Blackmagic camera and I like it. Okay, so you have the Tilta focus pulling. This is Ernesto Maldonado. JP, exactly. No need for a wireless focus wheel. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people doing it, you know. But then I see them pulling focus manually. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you get, because I've never used a wireless focus pulling. I had shitty focus pulling rigs before. But I have one actually for my, no, I'm lying. I have one for my my DJI, what is it, the Ronin SRS2 that came with one. I don't know if it's gonna work, but you know, I just find that manual, you know, you just get another feel, you know. One thing is you basically turning the gears with your own motion, and the other one is basically rotating the knob and then engaging motors to do it. So I don't know, I just got used to it because I've always been doing it manually, and I feel that if I'm going to be pulling focus with my hand, it has to be manual. Probably, you know, with a focus pulling wireless, you get a much more fluid effect, you know, maybe ease in, ease out, all that stuff, but whatever, we're going to have to try it. So Rapidola say, yeah, bro, the shelf. Yeah, to be honest with you, it actually doesn't even flinch. No, it's not going anywhere, guys. And it's been like that since forever. Now, one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put a cinema glass there. Hell no. I'm not doing that. I'm probably going to start taking up over there. Check this out. Right up there, you know, I have cameras. There you go. Let me see. Let me show you. I have a lot of cameras there. So I'll probably put it there. But okay, let's continue. This is the 35 millimeters. We have more lenses to go. So this is the way it looks. Check it out. You guys want to continue to see more glass, or should I stop this right here? Just let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know where you're watching me from right now tonight. And remember that I'm giving away a gimbal, guys. So all you need to do is read the rules. In my last video, you can win one. April 5th, I'll be announcing the winner. I was going to do an April 1st, but people were going to call me up saying that it was BS because it is April's Fool. So I'm like, no, April 5th. All right. With that, putting this guys away. All right, so next up on the list, and we have 3 more to go, almost there. This one's going to be the 50M. CN E, 50 millimeters. And one of the things that I like about the Canon glass is that it was one of the fastest consistently, you know, so they were basically most of them 1.3, 1.5 T-stop. So that's something that I also wanted to get. So if I'm shooting, you know, if I'm shooting in a specific type of exposure, you know, I don't want to have to drastically tweak that exposure way too much. And remember, the Sony FX6 has variable ND filters, so if I have to micro adjust, it's going to be really good. I don't have to recompose, and you know, that's one of the things that I like about this camera. Unfortunately over the C70, but obviously I've been using the C70 for a lot of the product things that I do at the studio. This camera, because just, I don't know, easier to mount and everything is kind of like here. Whereas the C70 is more modular, you know, it has the handle, it has the grip, and you know, I've been using the FX6 for running and gunning more. All right. And also I'm a little bit sleepy tonight. I just didn't sleep well last night. I believe we sold our house and we don't have a house to go. Yeah, I'm pretty stressed out because we had a house that we liked, but you know, our offer fell through. So yeah, we may have to rent. So what? Not a big deal. All right, so let's put this one on the side as well. And once again, this one is the 50 millimeters. This one is the T1.3. And once again, same size, same everything. Now look at the element, like I was telling you, as we go bigger, the element gets smaller, the lens gets lighter. This one, no issues hand holding this lens. And this ring feels really good. Yeah, the overall performance is actually really good. Let me actually pull focus here with this. Yeah, it feels really, really good, guys. Love it. Let me actually engage ND. Let's go variable ND. Check it out. What 50 millimeters get you? And let me remove the ND right now. Ooh, enable ND. And check this out. Let me remove the ND. And now we're gonna put auto ND. Come on, at least I can do this right. Auto ND, boom. I gotta love this feature, man. It's one of the best features ever. Auto ND. So I've been shooting in Cine EI, exposure indexing, and basically I set my base ISO either 800 or 12,800. And then if I want to be super lazy, obviously I shoot with shutter angle. So whatever the frame rate is, you know, the camera's going to double it. So if I shoot at 24, automatically it's going to be at 48, or if I switch to SNQ, the camera automatically is going to change it to 240. And if I really want to run and gun, and I'm going to be in a situation where, you know, I have the light source right here, but then, you know, I'm going to be filming there, the light's not hitting it directly, I can engage in auto ND, and the ND filter is going to adjust gradually on its own. And to be honest with you, you don't even realize the variation in the footage because that's so smooth. And to me, that is a time saver, especially when, you know, you want to make sure that you capture the best of the moment without making mistakes. Auto ND, believe it or not, is a really good tool. And people say, oh, no, you know, that's kind of like shooting manual. I mean, auto, but I mean, it is what it is to get the job done sometimes. Now, it looks really, really good. And also you can see how the glass, you know, it's tiny there in the center, and this one, you know, a lot lighter. All right, so Ernesto Maldonado, oh, Coral Spring, I'm in Miami, Florida, so we're not that far. Then we got Ernesto, which is in Weston, also not too far. That's probably what, 35 minutes right now with no traffic. Ernesto Maldonado is saying, by the way, I mentioned above not to underestimate the Sony 16 to 35. I have it with my FX6 and I love it. Yeah, that lens is actually great. Very good. JP said, that's the one, the 50 millimeter. Pff, damn. Yeah. 50, the nifty 50, like an expensive nifty 50, but yeah. And this is gonna look really good with a matte box. Did I order the matte box? Yes, I believe I ordered. Oh, I ordered the Polar Pro matte box, and I ordered it with the ND filters, with a mist diffusion, with the gradients and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna look really, really good. Right now, I'm using actually the mini matte box from Tilta. If you are familiar with it, it's actually really good. It uses some attachments to adapt, the threading of your lens. And for the most part, that's all I've been using, and actually works really good. It's super light. I can fold it and put it in my backpack. Actually, let me go and get it from my backpack. This is the mini Tilta. So small. Look at my hand, but it gets the job done, especially, to block undesired lighting. And I have the rings right here. Put them inside, and you can put. I think the maximum ring that you can get is an 82 millimeter. So it fits perfect. My 24 to 70 and my most lenses that are 82. So it's pretty good. It's super light. This thing is like paper. So light. So I recommend, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want a matte box for your lenses, yeah, check it out, the Tilta Mini matte box. This is actually carbon fiber. The material is made out of plastic, but again, it fits in a backpack. I put it in a pocket, and like I mentioned before, look at my hand, and look at this. That's the job well. And in my opinion, it's better than carrying 100,000, a lens hood. This is way better, in my opinion. All right, so what else, guys? So, Angaston are in Miami. All of us are neighbors. Yeah, we're almost neighbors, guys. Yep. I'm about to move. I don't know where yet. Maybe I go to Weston. Maybe I go to Coral Spring. Who knows? All right, what filter do you use with a mini Tilta? What I use is, I've been using the Polar Pro filters on my lens, and like I mentioned before, usually the most popular lenses that I use are 77 millimeter in thread and 82. So I have two. You could also get step-up rings, but just to be a little bit quicker, I order two, the 77 ND 2 to 5, and I also have 7 to 9, I believe it is, and I order the same ND for the 82 millimeters. Now, I recommend you guys check this out, because this video is actually using one of these guys right here. The one on the camera is the 67. And as you can see, yes, the image is a little bit softer, but I was afraid that we were going to get nasty cross polarization here. Well, let's do it. I don't see any cross in the image, to be honest with you. So probably I would try this. And what I like is that it has stops in the weird. Now the camera is saying that the exposure was right. Mine is that was crazy. But anyway, so this is what you get. And this one also has the mist. So it's kind of like a combination, because what I do in my C70, my Sony A7C, which is the one that I use for my videos, is I have a Tiffin Pro Mist half, okay, and then I have a polarizer, an ND filter there. I'm sorry, I'm so sleepy tonight. Let me actually show you guys. I'm going to remove this, and let me show you. Okay, this is the image, like so. We're going to remove it. Let me see. And there you go. Now let me tweak so you can have an idea, Yeah, it does soften the image, quite a few. Let me just pick it up. Does it feel on my computer? It softens the image quite a few, but it could also be because I have the light right above there, and maybe it's causing some sort of weird glare. You know, look how sharp it is. I don't know the graduation of this mist. That's what's very important to know that. And for what I think that this one is probably more in line with a half. And I would recommend you go with a 1/4 or even 1/8. You know, you just gotta try them because that's gonna have an effect in your image. And a lot of the times you don't want the image to be that soft. So let's go again here. See? Fuck. And I put my fingers. So someone is asking me what camera I'm using for the stream. Right now, I'm using the Sony A6600. And we are going to go again. In my opinion, this is about right. No, it's too dark. There. So as you can see, much softer, but at the same time, if you want smoother skin tones, this may do the trick. Or if you want to shoot something, let's say, you know, 5 in the morning and you want to portray that it's misty, you know, moody, then, you know, this type of diffusion is going to be great. It's going to accentuate, you know, that feel. So I think, in my opinion, like the video boys, yes, sir. I think, in my opinion, it's good to have them if you can have all the graduations, because it's not that you're gonna get one and it's gonna suit to a lot of projects. Like, for example, I'm shooting a video. It's about CNC machining, and it's, you know, dark, dungy. You know, the feeling of the video is kind of like alien technology. So I did actually use the ND half just to get that, you know, the blurry, ghosty effect. But a lot of the times, if I just want a little bit of a halo, you know, around some of the lights, or if I have a bulb, you know, a lot of the times, you know, 1/4 is fine, and even 1/8 is just fine. So if you can, you know, try them all. If you can, you know, if you can afford it, try them all. I say start with the 1/4 first, because it's gonna, I feel that the 1/4 mist is going to be the one that is going to be pleasing for most of the things that, you know, at least I film. So that's my suggestion. Okay, so quick question. What filter do you use? Okay, I already answered that one. Ernesto Maldonado, my MX is getting ready for whenever Sony update the FX9. I'm waiting for the A1, crossing fingers that I get it early next week. Yeah, the A1 is actually a heck of a camera, guys. To be honest with you, in my opinion, I have the A7R4, which is actually for sale, my A7R4. And because I'm shooting more with Canon now for my still. But the A1 is a great camera, but in my opinion, it is very expensive. Yes, it has great video features. Yes, it has great photography features, but, you know, for most of the video things that I'm doing right now, I'd rather go with the Sony FX6. And to be honest with you, unless you do 50-50 both, you know, and you're comfortable with that body, you know, that's fine. But I think that anyone that's gonna shoot 8K video, you know, someone that needs that level of videography is probably going to, you know, rig up the stuff, you know, put cinema glass, you know, build a cage and stuff like that. And yes, you can do it with a camera. But one thing that I discovered is that now that I have the Canon C70 and the FX6, I actually love the fact that I have tons of buttons. Every single button, that's one thing for me. Whereas before I would have to go through menus and kind of like, or slow down and stop. And now you know, it's kind of like muscle memory. I know where the buttons are. And, you know, in my opinion, you know, I'd rather have a photo camera now and a cinema camera. But the A1 is probably the one to get if you want to get both things great. In fact, the image quality of the A1, I believe, is going to be, you know, way sharper than the image quality of the Sony FX6 or the Sony A7S III, because you're downsampling from an 8K sensor all the way down to 4K. So yes, you're going to get more details. But at the same time, you know, if you think about cinematography or cinema-like images, they're not usually super sharp. You know, when we call something cinematic, or at least my concept of cinematic is kind of like the moody, that grainy, you know, that feel. Of course, depending what type of cinema you're talking about, but you know, a lot of people may prefer a not so sharp image, and I feel that a lot of the times when the image is too sharp, it looks kind of like fake. It looks too digital. You know, it looks like it's not part of a movie. It's part of a consumer camera, if you know what I'm understanding. But that's why, you know, there are a lot of tools out there that you can use to actually bring that image and, you know, manipulate the image live, such as Pro Mist filters, ND filters, cinema glass, lighting, of course, and, you know, everything else that surrounds a great image. So image sensor, you know, resolution and stuff is just part of the combination. Of course, it's an important one, but it's all going to matter, you know, to you, what you're, you know, where you're trying to capture with the camera. But yes, the A1, good stuff. All right, so Rapidola asked me again, what camera? The camera that I'm shooting with right now is the A6600, which is the camera that I use for most of the videos that I have done until now. And I recently started shooting with the Sony A7C, which is the camera that I have right here when, you know, when I talk like this, and you guys see that in another angle. That's the Sony A7C. But the Sony A7C also is too sharp in my opinion, so I switched to this one. All right, so what else? Ernesto Maldonado, yeah, but Amex pays for that, not me. Yeah, buddy. Amex, thank you for supporting us, photographers, videographers, and creators, you know. Hopefully we'll pay you back. No, you gotta pay your bills, guys. Don't do that. All right, good morning from Pakistan. That's Mohammed. All right, guys, so let's continue with this. So we have the Cine glass right here, and this one is the 50. This is the way it looks. Now we're gonna move forward quick because I'm starting to get tired. Like I mentioned before, did not sleep very well last night, and I need to look for a new home on top of all the things that I'm doing. We're gonna put this away for a second now. Now my next thing is I'm trying to find out the best way to rig up this camera with a Cine glass. And I've been doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of my friends, because, you know, I've been rigging this camera. This is so easy to rig these cameras. I've never had the need to actually use rails, you know, because usually the lenses that I use are not that heavy for me to use rails. You know, I don't have external batteries or anything like that. But yeah, I want to make sure that I rig this camera properly to hold the lenses. Most likely, I'm not going to be using a, you know, an external battery, because I have this BP. This one is a BP90, I believe it is. This battery lasts like freaking forever, man. This battery on the Sony FX6 gives me about 6 hours. Like, I've never shot with a camera that gives me 6 hours. And this one is by Wasabi, and it cost me, I think, $57 per battery. I mean, it's just incredible. All right, let's do it. 2 more to go. Wow. Now this one is the following: 85 millimeters. One of my favorite focal lengths for photography, for videos, and so on. The 135 actually is the top on my list for, you know, close-ups and stuff like that. All right, let's open this guy up. I know you cannot see what I'm doing, but you're not missing much. Right. I think the fact that the lens comes in a bag is such a bad idea, because it's so slippery no matter how you grab it. So Canon, if you're watching this video, maybe do something a little bit more, more grippy, because the only thing that is holding the lens is that little tape, and not everyone is too prepared for these things. All right. Hey, and guys, thank you for hanging out with me. You know, a lot of you guys are there right now. we're gonna show you now this glass. And you know what I'm gonna do this time? Sorry, I just banged that again. This time I'm gonna show you once again in the Sony A7S III how this thing looks. So we're gonna switch the adapter. I'm gonna put it in the Sony A7S III, and I can see myself already getting a couple more of these. They're not too expensive. I believe they're $100. All right, so let's actually put this for a moment. Ernesto Maldonado says, so much money on gear. My wife will kill me if she knew. Mine too. Shh. Don't say anything. Well, my wife also spends money on things that I consider not useful, like a purse. I mean, you don't make money with a purse. You can't make money with a purse. So I don't tell her anything. She doesn't tell me anything. She works for her own money, and I work for our own money, although we share, in our family, a lot of things. And this one is really light. Okay, it's not a myth. Ooh. Wait a second. Is this macro too? No. Now, the zooming in this lens is pretty interesting. It's actually external. All the other lenses, the zooming, I'm sorry, the focusing. So look at that. It's actually external. You can see the thing. It's pretty interesting. And for those that already own cinema glass, they're laughing about me being amazed at my first time with cinema glass, but there's always a first time. All right, so this one is going to be once again a T1.3. You can see it right there, 85 millimeters. It looks actually really good. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, you could shoot with a Sony A7S III handheld with this. I will probably have like a strap or like one of those braces here, so so you grip the camera really good. Maybe I would put an additional handle on this side, but yeah, you can actually shoot with this no problem, and it's not too heavy. Again, I would not let the lens hang like this for too long. But what do you guys think about the look of this? Let me know in the comments. There you go. All right, so let's see the image quality on this bad boy. Well, it's an 85. The image quality is going to be awesome. Now, another reason why you would want to go with cinema glass is because you are going to get a super, super clean image. Probably this lens has very little chromatic aberration, even open wide. But again, all that's going to be stuff that I'm going to be testing in the upcoming days. The minimum focusing distance on this one is actually pretty long, because I'm here and I'm still not being able to focus. There you go. This seems to be the focusing distance. It's about what? It's about 3 feet almost. Yeah, totally different from a photography lens. But again, it is what it is. Let me see. Yeah, it's completely horrible what I'm trying to show you there, because it is polarizing one of those screen protectors. Anyway, so that's that. This is the 85, guys, and we're gonna show you the last lens today. It's the 135, and like I mentioned before, I love shooting with a focal length. Just love it. I do a lot of close-ups, for product videos and photography, and the 135 is the one I use. I shoot a lot of live stuff. I do a lot of shooting of live tattooing, believe it or not, because I manufacture tattoo equipment. I have a company. That's my real job, the one that I've been doing for many years, and obviously I'm doing a lot of video work and stuff for our companies, and I love it, and I do side work for people. So last but not least, That's not that heavy. All right, so the last one on the list is going to be the 135. Yep. Don Keating said, wishing you the success you hope for Ernesto to the point where you don't have to hide the bills anymore. Thanks down from your fingertips to God's ear. All right, guys. So last one. This one I have the impression that it's going to be even lighter. We're kind of like going in opposite ways here, or at least this is what I feel. I'm now weighting this with my hand. Oh no! Oh no! It got heavy again. So it got heavy again. Once you get to the 135, and it's also longer. Yep, yeah, buddy, longer. As you can see, and this one got heavier again, like I mentioned before. I'm gonna put the box here. Let's actually put it back on the Sony FX6, and we're gonna put the adapter. Now, if anyone is familiar with the best adapter from EF to E-mount, let me know. So far, I think the Sigma, it is the best one out there. But if there's anything else that I'm probably missing, like Metabones, maybe, I don't know, let me know in the comments. All right, so last but not least, this is the beast, the 135, my favorite focal length for products and shooting people and capturing a lot of details. Now, let's actually see the minimum focusing distance of this bad boy, because I'm assuming that it's going to be insane. Oh no. Actually, let me see. No, probably like around the, yeah, like about the 35, probably. Let's see. Yeah, probably it's about 3 feet, the minimum focusing distance, which is not bad. I mean, it's 135. You know, it's not a macro lens. This one doesn't have the element protruding. We can see that we have more glass as the other ones, because the other one had the, you know, indentation there. This one is almost, I mean, not flush with the top of the lens, but definitely there's more glass. It is heavier, more like the first one that we reviewed, the 14 millimeters. And again, this one is a T2.2, still like pretty fast. So you can see there, there you go, T2.4. And I like all the markings, very visible. I believe the green actually glows in the dark, so actually that's awesome when you are, you know, shooting in low light situations, and definitely, you know, important. So why I decided to go with the Canon CN E glass? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Number one, when it comes to quality glass, for the research that I have done, Canon is kind of like the perfect balance between quality, price, and versatility. And versatility was one of the main things that I've been looking for, because like I mentioned before, I shoot with Sony and Canon, and that's pretty much it. Then for photography, I also shoot with Fuji cameras as well. I have some Panasonics that I haven't shot in years with those cameras. But, you know, Canon, you know that you have also a lot of adapters to adapt the glass to the different type of cameras. So if in the future I want to get a Recomoto, which is something that I would love to own at one point, I'm going to rent one first. I can use this glass. You know, this one is an EF, but I can use the EF to the RF adapter. And the other great thing is that I got the adapter with the ND filter, the variable ND filter. So that's actually going to be great, especially when using the Canon C70, because the Canon C70 has ND filters that drop every 2 stops. Now, dropping every 2 stops is actually too much. I don't know if you can configure it. I haven't messed around yet with that, to be honest with you. I know that you can configure the levels of the different steps of ND in the Sony, but I believe the Canon is just fixed. every 2 stops. So if you want to drop an ND filter in the Canon, you are either overexposed or underexposed most of the time. It's very rare that you're going to hit it right in, right in the middle. So having the EF to RF with the ND filter is going to allow me to do that granular, adjustment like I do here in the Sony FX6. And one of the main reasons why I got the Sony FX6 is exactly the ND filters. Now, guys, I cannot rave enough about how useful it is to have a variable ND filter. The word variable is awesome. And when that word also has the word internal, I mean, it's a dream to shoot. Basically what I've been doing lately is shooting my based ISO, setting up the shutter angle. The camera automatically is going to dial the frame rate, and all I do is basically tweak the ND filters. When it comes to move around and pay more attention to what's happening, because what you have to capture are those split moments. Being able to count with those modern tools that we have right now, to me, is priceless. And I'm not one of those guys that pretends to know it all, because as you guys see, I like to learn. I learn a lot from you guys, and I teach what I can teach to you if you find value in here. But I also, appreciate technology, and I think that we should evolve, with technology, because then why we are not shooting with super 8mm film cameras and stuff like that. We love the technology, and let's recognize it. So I'm one of those guys, if it's going to help me get my job better, more accurate, nicer, take it to the next level, I embrace that technology. I don't care what people say. All I care is, creating a good quality for my customers, my brands, and so on. So Rapidola is saying, how much is the minimum focal distance? I don't know. I was trying to focus on something that I have right there, and I'm about 3 feet away from there. So I believe it's going to be around 3 feet, but I am going to be doing a thorough review of every cinema lens. I'm probably going to bring in my friend James to maybe help me out. He's got a lot more experience shooting with cinema cameras, and he's a Canon guy. Fanboy. He doesn't like to be called Canon fanboy, but he's a little bit Canon fanboy. James, if you're there, I love you. But anyway, so guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up in here. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what else you want me to test in this, in this collection. I'm pretty stoked, and I cannot wait to put this glass to work. Now, one more time, look how cool it looks. It just freaking looks awesome. It looks like it was made for the Sony. I'm sorry. This is gonna look good in every camera you put it in. And let me actually put it in the Sony A7S III. For those that have a Sony A7S III and want to use it, I actually have seen a lot of people use it in Sony A7S III. Actually, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad. I mean, I could actually go stealth if I want, just like that. And I have that amazing EVF. Yeah, but definitely you want to use this with a follow focus, because if you're racking focus and you're gonna be holding the lens, you're gonna definitely shake the camera. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being with me. And as always, all of you guys, Rafat, JP, Don, Ernesto, Calp, Don, Rapidola, all of you guys, thank you for being with me. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. And until then, I will see you in the next video, guys. Take care.